Welcome back. Well, you've seen the economy has been constantly improving. So what does that mean for the real estate market, specifically for buyers or somebody who might be thinking about selling their home?
That's right. I'm finding out right now what it's like for buyers. And we're going to talk, though, with our friend Michael Anapolsky from Home Connect TV about the seller's market that we're in right now that I'm running into nonstop, and inventory is down. But it is a seller's market in Jacksonville, right?
I'll start with a couple of, yes, it is, a couple of interesting points. January a year ago, 8,700 homes for sale in the DMA. January this year, 7,000 homes for sale. So obviously with less inventory, it's supply and demand. There's nothing extraordinarily unique or difficult to understand. With more homes on the market, there's been a lot of activity and a lot of push to sell homes.
Okay, so let's kind of dive into this. Let's talk from the seller's perspective, and then Curtis can pick your brain about what it's like to be the buyer.
Absolutely.
So, okay, someone who is thinking about selling their home, this is a good time to put it on the market. How do we know how to go about this? What should our expectations be? How long it's typically on the market? How do you set the price? It's a loaded question. But
sure, no, it's not a loaded question, because that's part of the process. That's what you're asking, and it is truly a process. You've heard me say before, in this kind of a marketplace with the technology available, with the rapidity, the quickness that properties are moving, highly recommend work with a professional. But you have to understand what the home is worth, the value in the neighborhood. You have to understand that.
And you said don't necessarily go to Zillow and figure this out, because sometimes those prices
well,
can be
it's not
a little...
necessarily Zillow. There's a few of those softwares that are out there that are overpricing it. The variables that they use to create the value pricing may not be exactly right. So again, working with a professional, you can get the comps, the comparables that have been recently sold in your neighborhood, and that takes into consideration the real amenities, the real look of the house, the value of the work that you may have to do. So the other thing as a seller you want to do, so you want to get your pricing right. You want to really think about moving fairly quickly in this market, because interest rates are going to move up in this next year, and while that may not be extraordinary, it may hinder some folks from the marketplace. The other thing is there's a lot of new construction coming on the market. Remember, we've had a bit of a harsh winter. In the next 60, 90 days, as spring breaks and it gets beautiful around here, a lot of homes are going to be finished that are speculative homes that builders and new neighborhoods are coming around.
More supply.
We have more supply, so that might hinder you a little bit. Do I sell my 20-year-old house now at the right price, because we do want to move, we either want to downsize, we want to upsize, we're moving away from town, or do I get caught when there's a ton of new homes on the marketplace? So there's a real impetus and an energy that says, go, if you're going to sell and you're really thinking about selling, do it now. The market has not been this good in 10 years.
Yeah, it is. And as somebody who's in the market right now looking to buy, I've tried to, over the last few weeks, figure out a way to take advantage of this, because it's a seller's market. But there are ways as a buyer to take advantage of it. And one of those, the starting off point, and I tell people, get an agent, because as a buyer, it's free. You don't pay the agent. The seller pays the agent, and that agent can help you so much and let you know what Zillow that's way off, or which ones are actual real.
I couldn't agree with you more, especially, again, you're not paying for it. And there are people who are specifically buyer's agents. You can look them up, if you will. We deal with some that promote themselves through Home Connect TV. That's a real advantage. And also, just like we said about the seller, make sure your pricing is right. Make sure that you're getting into the right price point, too. Don't sell emotionally. Don't buy emotionally either. Try to be as level-headed as you can. And the other thing is that, generally speaking, unless you know that you're being transferred and you're only going to be here for 2 years, generally speaking, the large majority of people buy a home for a lot longer. As a matter of fact, in the past 2 years, average home ownership has gone up an average of 3 years here in North Florida.
Staying in the home longer.
Yeah, so you're going to stay in a home longer. So, oh my gosh, if you pay just a little bit more than you think the market might bear a year or two from now, it's going to adjust and grow.
Right. If it's not an investment, it's one of those things where this is your...
We were saying
it is
earlier,
an investment, but it's a long-term investment.
Absolutely. And we were saying earlier, look, you got to live somewhere. So pick the right neighborhood. Negotiate as best you can. A lot of times the personality of the home and the seller and the buyer do come together, and there is a real dynamic there that can make it work. So it's a buyer's market if you buy properly, and don't get too emotional about it. I asked you earlier, what happens if you don't get the house? And he said, He had to take a deep breath, and he said, "Okay, well, if we don't, we'll move on. It's it's just that." So there's a real opportunity for you to take that step back.
It's hard not to get emotional when you start picturing yourself, and your family and everything, and then obviously from the seller's perspective, you get emotional. This is my property.
Yeah.
This is
what I'm going to tell you a little secret about Curtis. It was 7:30 yesterday morning. I'm taking my 11-year-old daughter. He's laughing. 11-year-old daughter to work, and he sends me a picture of the house and says, "Call me when you can, because I really want to know if I'm making the right decision." We've just been talking a lot, and so we've been sharing a little bit of it. So it was 7:30 in the morning, and he sounded like a kid who just found the best thing he ever did.
Yeah, no, I know. I saw pictures as soon as he came in the morning.
Right.
It's like a kid in a candy shop. That's right, but you have to have the strength to be able to walk away.
Be smart.
Just in case the potential sellers are watching.
Yeah. So there's great opportunity. And again, I mentioned new construction. One of the things that is you're looking to buy, and you know you have to buy, there's a lot of good new construction opportunities coming in the next few months.
There you go.
Cool.
Good to see you, as always.
Good to see you.
Appreciate you. And as always, learn more and see hundreds of homes for sale across the First Coast. Watch Home Connect TV on FCN now on 7 days a week.